Hello, you are listening to Disney Travel Tales, episode number 63. This is a space where you can escape the real world and immerse yourself in someone's recent Disney trip. I'm Jenny, and today I'm talking with Tammy about her Disneyland adventure celebrating her daughter's 5th birthday with her mom and sister. Tammy is a Disneyland regular, and she has some really great advice about navigating the parks, and she fills us in on all the fun holiday offerings Disneyland has this time of year. I just want to take the time to thank all of my listeners for supporting the show and me. This show was a dream of mine that I honestly wasn't even sure would be successful. I'm just so thankful for all of you coming back week after week to hear my guest travel tales. There are 2 more episodes left of Season 4, and then I will be back in 2023 with a new set of guests. If you're traveling to Disney, Universal, or going on a Disney cruise in 2023 and want to find out what it takes to be on this show, please email me at disneytalespodcast@gmail.com. I'm currently looking for guests traveling in January, March, and April, and I would love to hear your travel tale. Next year, I will be starting a fun newsletter with lots of inside information only for subscribers. So if you're interested in that, see the show notes for a form. Okay, so let's get going. Imagine yourself walking into Disneyland Park during the holiday season with a hot cocoa in hand, and let's go. So today on the show, I am here with Tammy, and she is going to tell us all about her little getaway to Disneyland to celebrate her daughter's 5th birthday. How are you today?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Doing well. I'm super excited to talk to you. I love talking about Disneyland because I don't get to that often, so it's always fun. So why don't we just start off with you telling us a little bit about yourself, your experience with Disney vacations, and who you traveled with.
So Disney and I go way back from when I was a kid. I didn't go that often when I was a kid. I maybe went twice. And then when I was in my 20s, I had this kind of rebirth where I was an adult. I could buy my own trips now, and I could go as much as I wanted, buy what I wanted, eat what I wanted. And so anyway, this new love as an adult really developed for Disneyland. And then so this trip in particular is just one of many I have lined up. And I went with my mom, my 5-year-old daughter, well, she's now 5, and my twin sister. It was just for a couple of days, a little short trip, but it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. So y'all went December 12th and 13th, correct?
That's right.
And where did y'all stay?
So we stayed at one of the Good Neighbor hotels. It was right on Harbor Boulevard, but technically in Garden Grove, so it's about a mile away, a little bit past the Anaheim Convention Center. And it was called the Delta Hotel by Marriott. And it's a pretty big hotel. And it's like located right in the center of, there's like an Outback and I guess like a Crab Shack and some sort of other like bar and restaurant. It's just, but the best part, and I kid you not, the best part of this hotel was that it was right across the street from the biggest Target I've ever seen. So that was like such a huge benefit to staying there. I loved it. And actually, I stayed in this hotel before when we went to Star Wars Night last May, and we knew that too. Like, oh, the Target's right there. We can get anything we might need. And we did.
Yeah, that's so awesome and nice and convenient.
Yeah, it was it's actually a really nice hotel also. I feel like it was a different hotel before, and then they redid it and it turned into the Delta Hotel because I never heard of it before. But, I mean, that doesn't say that much. I mean, I do stay at numerous hotels, but I do really like the hotel. They have like breakfast included. Well, at least ours did. And we took a shuttle from there right to the park, and that shuttle service was a lifesaver too. Yeah, I really enjoyed staying at the hotel. Beds are super comfortable. It was really quiet at that end, so not a lot of disturbance, not a lot of outside sound. It was real nice.
That's wonderful and so good to know. So I do have a question. Was the shuttle, was it free?
Uh, so I should say that it's not free. I think for a fee, something like, I think it was $6 a day, unlimited, but we booked a package through a second company and everything came together. So they gave us our breakfast coupons, free parking, the shuttle service for not just the 2 days we were going, but all 4 days that we were there. And the breakfast was the same thing. So they really, everything was included. It was such a bonus.
Oh yeah, that's fantastic. Especially having that breakfast included. That's so nice.
Well, the great part about having the shuttle service for all the days we were there is that we could actually go to downtown Disney, even if we weren't going to the parks that day. So we did on the last day we were there, which was my daughter's actual birthday. We went to downtown Disney that day and we just had lunch, kind of hung out. She got to go pick a gift at World of Disney. And it was just great to have that extra day. It was such a nice decision.
Yeah, that's really fun. I love that. Okay, so let's just go right into your trip. Your first park day was the 12th. Which park did y'all visit?
So the 12th, that day was a Disneyland day because we had an appointment to do Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique for my daughter because she's such a princess, this one. She just loves the princesses, loves dressing up, playing pretend. She could play dolls for hours. But we didn't end up doing it because it was raining that day. And her appointment was kind of later in the day, and it's been really cold in California. I'm sorry, East Coasters. I know us being cold is not the same as you being cold. Us in 50 degrees is really cold. But that's why we canceled that appointment because we're just like, no, she's not going to be able to really enjoy it. So we canceled that, but we still had a full day at the parks. I mean, we didn't go rope drop because I get up that early. My family doesn't. So we went a little bit in the morning and we just started in Fantasyland and just took the park by storm. Yeah, it was great. It was great.
So what are some of the Christmas things or holiday things that Disneyland does?
So they have the candlelight processional, which is like a huge thing that people go to. Now, don't come for me about this, but I don't really watch it. It's not really one of those things that I'm super involved in. But another thing they do is the Christmas tree lighting on Main Street. And I don't know if you know this, they do Christmas tree lightings all over the park in the little lands. So like in Adventureland, there's one on top of near the Jungle Cruise right there between the Tropical Hideaway and the Jungle Cruise. They do their own little tree lighting, which is, it's adorable.
Yeah.
I didn't know they do that. And I just happened to catch it. I'm like, oh, that's so cute. And then, when they light the Christmas tree, they also light Small World too. When everything just boom and all the lights are on. We were actually on the Disneyland Railroad when it happened. And before even the lights all went on, you heard everyone cheering and yay, because it's so beautiful. I love Christmas time. The other thing that they do that I love is they make it snow throughout the park. So you'll notice, you just be walking around, all of a sudden the lights kind of go off, and it gets real quiet, and then music starts playing, and then the snow smell comes out. It smells kind of like gingerbread, but kind of like that sweet haunted mansion smell too. And and then it just smells and plays this beautiful music for 5 minutes. It's super, so cute. One of my favorite things they do. And then of course they have the fireworks, the Christmas fireworks. Oh, they have the parade twice a day. We did catch that one on the earlier show. We were actually in line for Small World, which was super long at that time, but we were able to watch half of the parade from the queue. So that's something else they do. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot more things they do. We could get into the food and the snacks and the gifts and all of that. But they do so much for the holidays in the park.
That just sounds so magical, especially the snowing. Oh my gosh, I want to go see that.
I literally get teary-eyed every time. It doesn't matter how many times I see it. If I hear that music, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yes, that's so special.
I'm sorry. One of the other things that was like magical to me was when we first got there and we were on Main Street and my daughter's like going wild because she's like, look, it's Mickey, look, it's Pluto, it's Chip and Dale. And me, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm here again, and my favorite Christmas song is the Christmas Waltz. Mm-hmm. And so that starts playing in the background while I'm walking down Main Street. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like tearing up and I just got here.
Yeah.
It's just so magical. I love it so much.
It is so magical. And Disney just has that effect on people. And I don't think people, if you haven't been, you don't understand it. But yes, every time I walk down Main Street, I get teary-eyed.
It's really special. And I know, like, our castle's nice and, modest and small, but it really doesn't take the magic away from Main Street. Honestly, it doesn't.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's just go through your day. So what was the first thing y'all did when y'all got to the park?
Per my daughter's request, we had to go on Snow White first. She tells us between who's her favorite, but I knew we were going to end up in Fantasyland first. Mm-hmm. So we did, Pinocchio, Snow White. We didn't get to go on Peter Pan. But we went on after those rides, we actually, what did we do after that? We went on Small World, which I told you was a longer line than I anticipated, but I think that's because it was like a time where a lot of the Lightning Lane users were being let on to Small World, mm-hmm. and that's right before the parade, like I said. And I think that's why it was such a long line when we went there. And then after that, we wanted to go get something to eat. And I wanted to try the holiday sandwich from the Jolly Holiday. I think it's like technically Thanksgiving / Christmas sandwich. Uh-huh. And then, I don't know, we got our food. Oh, I also got my gingerbread cookies from Starbucks. So the limit is 5, so I got 5. This was my first round. I got a total of, 20 cookies over the 2 days. But I got my first 5, so I was like, I'm going to go lock those away in the locker while I go and do the rest of the day. We ended up watching the Lion King show. We went on the Jungle Cruise. We went on Star Tours and Buzz Lightyear. We ended up watching Fantasmic on a whim. Like, I didn't really plan the shows into the trip because I didn't think it was a priority for everybody. Mm-hmm. I thought everyone would want to go on rides. But actually, everyone's like, no, I want to really watch Fantasmic. So we found a standing room and we watched Fantasmic. And right after that was the fireworks. And right after that was the snowing. So then after that, we went into New Orleans Square area and we went into the shops and kind of just looked around. And then we hopped on the train again and took the whole round and round. That's when we got off at Tomorrowland to go on Star Tours and Buzz Lightyear. But another thing that we did that I had never done before is we went to Pixie Hollow because my daughter loves Tinkerbell. Well, like I said, she loves all the princesses, mm-hmm. but she also loved Tinkerbell and Peter Pan. And so we went there and met Tinkerbell, and she was in her little winter outfit, super, super cute. And the characters are so interactive. So my daughter was wearing her little froggy boots. I told you it was raining, so they have little froggy. And she was hopping around, going ribbit, ribbit, and just trying to get my daughter into it because she was kind of shy.
That's cute.
It was such a wonderful experience, though. And because it's kind of apart from everything else, you're kind of just immersed in that. And my daughter loved it, too. And another thing is because I have the Inspire key, we have a photo pass included. So we got all these photos of us in front of the tree, of us with Tinkerbell. And so I'm really glad. I totally forgot that it was one of the benefits. And then a cast member actually asked me, do you have a key? I was like, oh, yeah, that's right, I do. So I'm really happy to have those photos.
Oh, that's so awesome. Yeah, I didn't know that was included. Is it included mm-hmm. with all the keys?
No, not all the keys. I think the the top two tiers. You could correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure the top two get the photo pass.
Yeah, I'll check that because I'm not sure either, but that is so nice.
Yeah. And they do like the magic shots. Like one of them looks like you're in a snow globe and another one looks, I don't know, they're so cute. So
yeah, those are
really
cute.
happy to have them.
So I didn't even realize that Disneyland does Fantasmic and a fireworks show.
Back to back.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing.
And so what they do is they have two Fantasmics. So they have one that's earlier at like 8:30 maybe. Mm-hmm. And then at 9:30 is the fireworks, and then they have another Fantasmic at 10. Because the fireworks aren't that long. It's a very short show, but so cute.
That's so cool.
So we got the earlier one though.
So at the fireworks show around the holidays, do they play like holiday music?
Oh yeah. Yes, they do. I can even hear the song in my head, but I don't know what it's called, but it is a special holiday fireworks show. And because we were at Rivers of America, they do some projection on the center island there. Mm-hmm. And they have some of the, when the water sprays, mm-hmm. and they use that as a projection screen. So they have those up doing some projections. But honestly, even more than on Main Street, my favorite place to watch the projections is in front of Small World. Because you kind of get everything right there, right? You get the projections and the beautiful lights of Small World. You can see all the fireworks. And then you get like the snow is in that whole area. It just starts blowing out from everywhere. And so I think that's my favorite place to watch the holiday fireworks.
That's really good advice. Yep. That's awesome. So what were the crowds like on this day?
Hey parents, do your kids listen to podcasts? Do they like solving mysteries and flexing their imaginations? Mysteries at Riddleton Elementary is a new children's mystery podcast. Your kid can join Billy Bonanza and Susie Sockington on exciting and wacky adventures as they attempt to solve mysteries around their school. Mysteries at Riddleton Elementary is available now on all podcast platforms.
I've been to Disneyland pre-pandemic. I've been to Disneyland during the holidays, and it is just congested. But this felt just like a busy day, not like you could still do everything you wanted to do. And a good indicator for me is that Peter Pan is only 40 minutes. If it's under an hour, the park crowds are pretty good. Some rides that kept getting backed up because of Lightning Lane were Matterhorn, Space Mountain, Small World, and Haunted Mansion. So those 4 rides would get up to like 120 minutes. Matterhorn was 180 at one point of the day. Yeah, it was. Wow. I was like, nope, we're not going on that today. But all the other rides were very, very mild in times. And even when we were watching Fantasmic, like there were a lot of people, but it didn't feel like everyone was on top of each other.
That's nice.
It could be that it rained that day. It could be that it was cold, like I said, mm-hmm. cold to us. And the kids, have school still. It could have been a lot of reasons why it didn't feel overly crowded, but it was busy. I won't say that it wasn't, but it didn't feel suffocating.
Yeah, I totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So crowds were okay. Wait times were okay.
Yeah, that's good to know. Because people sometimes are scared to go around the holidays because of the crowds. But I don't know. I just say, don't worry about the crowds. Just go and have fun and do what you can do.
I think right now, too, because they still have the reservation system in place, it's not going to feel like it used to feel. Like, mm-hmm. I think the worst crowd day I ever had was on New Year's Eve at Disneyland. They closed the gates because it was at full capacity. I mean, I've been to Disneyland that full.
Oh, my gosh.
And we didn't make it. We're like, we got to go. We can't even move in here.
Yeah.
So that was as crowded as I've ever seen it. And I'm like, no, I'm okay. I'm not doing that again.
Yes, I've heard New Year's Eve at both parks is the worst, the busiest day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so what else did y'all do? Y'all saw Tinkerbell. What y'all do after y'all saw her?
What did we do? I think I told you we watched the Lion King show.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter really liked that because, well, she knows all the characters now, but like she really liked Simba. And she enjoyed like the singing and the dancing, and she actually could keep track of who was who. And oh my gosh, I guess it's the narrator singer of that show. Mm-hmm. She is just amazing, like such power in her voice, and the way that she executes her lines is just, she's phenomenal. And I'm blown away every time I see it. I'm not gonna lie to you though, I still miss Mickey and the Magical Map. I think that's my favorite show. But I do really enjoy the Lion King show, so we did that. I thought my daughter would be really scared of the Jungle Cruise because she's scared of the dark, and
mm-hmm.
But she had a blast. She thought it was funny.
That's
I don't think she fully understood what was going on, but she still had fun.
Yeah.
But you know what else is really fun is going with my mom. Because she's a whole nother level on like rides. She's so loud and screaming and being silly, and it's the whole reason why I wanted her to come. I was like, no, I want to go on rides with you because it's so funny. And I wanted to go on Matterhorn, but like I said, it wasn't really in our plans because that wait is just, I was like, I can't spend all that time just to go on Matterhorn.
Yes, that's crazy.
What else did we do? It didn't seem like a long day, but maybe we did more than I'm remembering. One really bummer thing that I remember is that we didn't get to go to Galaxy's Edge, which is one of my favorite places to go. But with my daughter, she has no interest, right? She just wants to be in the main park around the characters she knows. And she knows Star Wars, but she's not into it yet.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't even go into there, and I was quite sad about it. We kept joking with each other all day, like, hey, you going to go on Splash? There's no wait. Are you going to go? And everyone's just like, nope, not going. It's too cold. It's way too cold. And yet there were people coming down on those logs every time they came down.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are wild. Because even if I had a poncho, I don't think I could do it. The risk of getting my feet wet or no, but it was fun. Oh, and then we went to Starbucks again, and I got 5 more of my cookies. They did sell out by, I want to say like 4 p.m. They didn't have any more after that. And so, like I said, they limit you to, you can only buy 5, and you can use your magic key. You can also use your Chase Visa card to get a discount.
Nice.
And you can use your Starbucks app to get points. So there's
nice.
A multitude of things you can do, but that's one of the things that I always try to do now. I'd say for the 3rd years, I try and get those gingerbread cookies because for one, they're so good. But 2, they make really good gifts. Like if you don't know what to get someone, here's this cute cookie I got for you. And so they're one of my favorite treats for holiday time.
That's such a good idea, too, because it's not just any cookie. You had to, make a little extra effort to get it. So that's a really great idea.
For sure, yeah. I have one in my freezer now that's just waiting for me. So when I'm ready, I'm going to take it out and enjoy it, but not yet.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we did some shopping and just mainly looking at everything. We spent a lot of time just being in the moment, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Usually I go to Disneyland because I have an Instagram and I like to do themed content and things like that. But so I go a lot of times with that in mind. But on this trip, I was like, no, I'm just gonna be here and now with my family, and I did, and it was really, really special.
That's so fun. I absolutely love that. And I love that you went with your mom and your sister and your daughter. Like, what a special day.
Yeah, it was really special. And plus, like, I mean, when we bring the guys, I don't know what it is, but they cannot handle lines. They
Yes.
cannot handle walking. I mean, I know I don't speak for everyone. I'm talking about my own family.
Yes.
And it just seems like every time we bring them, something happens. I'm like, you know what? You guys stay home, and we'll go, and it'll be a lot easier. So that's basically our day. I wouldn't say it was a super long day. I feel like we could have gotten more hours, but with kids, like keeping them past a certain time, my own child, and things, she gets a little delirious. So we left around 10:30, and that was probably her max.
Well, y'all did a lot, though, because you didn't even get there when it opened, and y'all rode a ton of rides and saw shows. I think y'all did a lot.
Yeah. It was a busy day, but a fun day.
So your next park day, did y'all visit California Adventure?
We sure did.
Yay.
So I love that park too, so much. And it kind of has a different feel. Like it totally feels different being there. So let's see, where did we start that day? My sister wasn't with us in the beginning that day. She came later in the day. So my mom and I went in and we got the tickets, or not the tickets, the lanyards for the Festival of Holidays, the ones with the tabs on it, because we said we're just going to use this to get food today, so we can try a bunch of different things. And so we got 2 of those, and with the Magic Key, it was like a $5 discount, I think, to buy them. But we got 2. Festival of Holidays is, as its title implies, is a festival of holidays. Now that's not just Christmas. It is a celebration of different cultures, the way they celebrate, not just Christmas, but I believe other Festival of Light is one of them. Is that what it's called? I'm so sorry. But it's different cultures, and so there's like dancing, and there's different live performances of like music and dance. But then there are the food booths, right? The ones that you use your little tabs for when you buy that pass. Now you don't have to use a pass. You could just buy them if there was like a particular item you want them. But having the little tabs is great for like a tasting because you get a small portion. At some of the other food places in California Adventure, you can use your tab for the same item, but it's going to be a smaller portion. So like, let's say you were getting a sandwich at Pacific Wharf, but if you use your tab, it's like a little one. Or same thing at the far end, pizza and pasta place. Same thing. If you get something there, then it's like a smaller portion of maybe it's their own items that they always have. It's just little. So that's kind of cool. And then, so the way that the tabs work is, I think you get, I want to say you get 8 of them. And they don't count for alcoholic drinks. They only count for non-alcoholic beverages and the food items. And some of them are desserts. So like they have a huge macaron that's like a hot chocolate macaron that they have that's based on like the Santa Claus's movie. So that's a dessert. And then they have one at Pacific Wharf that's like this peppermint bread pudding with this huge mound of candy cane and whipped cream. It looks so good.
That sounds so good.
Yeah, and then, some of the drinks with it, my sister got like a holiday mule, and it was pretty good. It was kind of a kicker in the end, but it was a good drink. So that's basically what it is. It is kind of like the other like food and wine festivals where they have the little booth. So I know they do it for Festival of Holidays. I think they do it for Lunar New Year. And then Food and Wine Festival, they do the same thing with the tabs. So that's kind of how it works.
I really like that idea. I kind of wish they did that at Disney World because there are so many food booths at the Epcot festivals, and then you get a whole portion of food, and so you can't eat everywhere because you get so full.
Yeah. I love the idea that it is small. For some reason, though, this year, and I'm not trying to hate, but I feel like the food last year, the options they had were better suited to this time of year.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, like it was cold this year, especially, and all the drinks were cold. Freezing, like ice drinks or whatever. And I was like, but what happened to the hot cider? What happened to the hot chocolate?
Yes.
You know, looking for warm drinks, and there really weren't. I mean, they did have the hot cocoa, but besides that, not really. Like they had a like a hot toddy last year and all this stuff, and it was just, it would have been great if we had that this time. We didn't really, so it's kind of a bummer. Also, last year I had street tacos and pozole, and it was so good. I still think about that meal. But they didn't have that this year. They had, you know, other offerings. So I was like, man, I really wanted to have it again.
Yeah. Especially when it's cold, you want that warm, cozy food.
Exactly. And they did have some like good food, but you know, we didn't have a ton of time. We wanted to do a lot of other things too. So I still have tabs, and I'm hoping I can go back in January and use the rest of them. So, you know, try not to waste them. Yes. If not, maybe I can give them to someone who's going and they can enjoy it too.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, because it goes on until I think the end of the first week of January.
Oh, that's good to know. Yeah, Disneyland celebrates the holidays longer.
I heard they just expanded the Haunted Mansion holiday longer too, so they really want to keep it going. I also think maybe that's because a lot of the rides are closed for refurbishment in January, and so they're like, we better keep one of these things open, or else, you know, no one's gonna come. So.
Yeah, like gotta keep something going that's gonna draw the people in.
Yeah, so I think that's what that was about.
Well, that's good to know as well. And then with the big 100 celebration, it'll probably be crazy next year.
Let me tell you, the day that we got there, they released all the merchandise for the 100 year, right?
Oh my gosh.
I didn't even realize it. And I was there. I could have gotten, like, the stuff that I wanted to get. And I was just like, what is this over here? What is this purple stuff? Like, I didn't even, it wasn't on my radar.
Yeah, because it's so early.
When I realized it was happening, I was like, oh no, I missed my chance, because I was in line at Starbucks and I saw that silver tumbler. I was like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. And the next day, no more. And they didn't even have them in California Adventure. They didn't have them in Downtown Disney. They only had them on Main Street when I was there, and they were gone. Gosh. Totally gone. So
that's crazy.
Stop. You have to get it when you see it.
Yes, that's what I tell everyone when they're always like, well, I might come back and get it. I'm like, nope, just get it. You're never going to go back and get it, and it might not be there.
That's the problem right there. It might not be there when you get to get it.
Yep.
So, yeah. So exciting, though. And then we went on Soarin', which is so funny with my mom and daughter, because both of them freak out every time there's a transition. They, like, pull back.
It's great.
It's just wild. I love it. And then after that, we went to the actual Pixar pier. So then we went on the Little Mermaid, and then we kind of made our way around, right? We went on the Little Mermaid, and then we went on the jumping jellyfish. And then they had this thing for the Magic Key holders where you could get a like a reusable bag, and it says like Magic Key on it. I want to say that this is my least magical moment of the day, because all you had to do was scan your pass and they could give you a bag. But instead, they had to wait in a line that went around the Silly Symphony swings, almost to where the food area is, waiting. I don't know why they had just one person scanning for like hundreds of people to get a bag. Just scan and get the bag. It's a very simple like transaction, but apparently it took a long time, like 30 minutes to get a bag.
That's so frustrating.
And I know some people were like bailing, like, oh, it's just the bag, I'm not waiting in this line. But, you know, I had told someone I would get it for them. So I was like, okay, we'll just wait. And my mom was watching the little I want to say it's like what do they call it? Feliz Navidad, like a holiday, not a parade per se, but like a little show on that end of the park. So my mom was just watching that, and while we got the bag, and then after that, we went on the Emotional Whirlwind, and then we did Rider Switch. No, then we did Toy Story Mania, which my daughter and my mom, it's like their favorite ride in that park.
That's so
and
fun.
So they had so much fun with that. And then they did Rider Switch for Screaming for Incredicoaster. And my daughter and I went on the Jesse's Carousel right next door. And then after that, we decided to use some of our tabs. So we picked where we were going to go. We were going to collect all the food and go sit down and eat. So we ended up in, what's it called? It's not Fisherman's Wharf, but Pacific Wharf. And so we went into like the Boudin's area. We got some other items there as well. And then we sat down with all of our like Festival of Holidays food, and we sat them. I know we got the beef slider, and we got the ham slider. We got, what else did we get? I'm totally blanking now. We got a couple of the drinks, the holiday drinks. I can't think of it now, but we got a lot of food, and we were satisfied after that. Oh, and then I had to go get chicken tenders for my daughter from Flo's. Because she eats like 3 things.
Yeah.
But it was a total hit. She loved it. And then we didn't go on Radiator Springs because my daughter said it's too fast. She literally grabbed onto a stranger last time we were on it. She was scared.
Oh, no.
And then, so we went on Soarin' again. And then, what did we do after that? Then I think it was getting kind of late at that point, and we're like, okay. Oh, and then the World of Color was happening, but the holiday version of it. And so we were watching it from like the back side. So not the front side where Ariel or where the Little Mermaid ride is, but like the back side where all the Toy Story stuff is. And they project from that angle too, so you could see stuff from that side as well.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
it was so cute. I wish I had seen it from the other side, but we had to make a decision. We're like, look, if we can watch this, but if we watch this, we cannot go on Guardians. And for me, I have to go on that ride. I have to. Like, before I leave, I must go on this ride.
Yeah.
So we left. We hustled all the way over there, and we saw that the wait time was 80 minutes. Now, the problem is we were going to Rider Switch. But they said, if you Rider Switch and the park closes, the second group won't be able to go. I was like, So what we did was all 5 of us got in line. And I said, well, if we get all the way to the front, and Aurelia says, that's my daughter, and she says she really doesn't want to go on it, then I'll wait with her. And of course, each person was like, no, I'll wait with her. No, it's okay, I'll wait with her.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we all got in line, this crazy 80-minute long line. And my daughter fell asleep, like mid-line. And we're like, well, we can't leave now, and we can't make her go either. So what we did was, we decided, okay, if we get up to the front, we'll talk to the cast member, and we're like, help us, please, so we can do this, right? So we go up, and I don't know if have you been on Guardians?
No.
Oh, so how it works is that you get to this first, well, maybe it's the same for Tower of Terror.
So I went on the Tower of Terror at California Adventure, but it was before it switched.
Okay, so you know how before you get to the actual ride, you get to a cast member first.
Yes.
And then you get to a second cast member that kind of tells you what row to go in. So we were at that first one when they, ask you how many people you are. And I said, look, we're 5, but we lost one, but we really all want to ride this ride. And the cast member, without skipping a beat, was like, babe, I love this idea for you. We're going to make it happen. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. She's like, and she's going over to talk to the other cast member, and she's explaining the situation, right? And then she comes back, she's like, come on, come this way. We're totally going to make it happen. She's like, okay, first group waits over there. First group go, right? So my sister waited with my daughter, and then my mom and I went first. so, okay, wait, I have to explain to you. So I told you my mom's kind of wild when she goes on rides. It was so, so funny. But even funnier than that was there was this girl in the gantry next to me, and she was trying to hype up the girl next to her. Like, I've been on this before. It's fun. It's not that scary. But the moment that ride dropped, the girl next to me grabbed onto me for dear life. And when she realized it, I look over at her because I'm like, what? Like, I don't care. Like, go ahead.
Yeah.
Also, like, what's happening? And she looks at me and she screams. She's like, I'm sorry. But she didn't let go of my arm either. And every time it went up, she was like flailing around looking for my arm. And I'm like, just hang on, just hang on.
Oh my gosh, that's so great.
It was great. And so we get off and we do the switch. So I take my daughter. But now my mom goes again with my sister. So my mom rides twice in a row while I'm waiting with my daughter. Mm-hmm. Now, my only regret to this is that I didn't get the picture that I was on. Like, by the time I got to the other side, my picture was gone already. Mm-hmm. Because I would have loved to see that picture of that girl just grabbing onto my arm. Hilarious. But yeah, so then both parties got to go. My mom got to go twice. And it was a win-win for everyone all around. I mean, we did wait a while, but it was totally worth it. And those cast members totally made our night.
That's so fabulous. Yeah, you know, sometimes you just have to test it out. The worst they can say is no one gets to ride, or, you know, someone isn't going to get to ride, but you might as well go all the way to the front and try, right?
I mean, what would have happened is, you know, Mom wouldn't have gone twice. I think they would have let us do that at least. Yeah. Her to go once and then the other party, but worked out in everybody's favor. And my daughter was sleeping throughout the whole thing, so it's fine. Then after that, you know, the park was closed, so it was very quiet and empty, and I just was like, it's so beautiful here. So that was basically our day. I'm probably missing something somewhere in there, but that's pretty much it. And I did get 5 more cookies that day from the Starbucks in California Adventure.
Nice.
And I don't know if you know this, but in the parks, the cookies are $5 and change. If you buy them at the Grand Californian, which they have their own setup where you can buy the same cookies, they're $9.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. You can use your Inspire key or your Chase card at both locations, but that's a significant price jump for being in the park and being out of the parks.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Like, no.
That's insane.
Never again.
Yeah. Well, that's good advice too.
Yeah. So it was really fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, y'all's trip sounded so much fun. I am dying to go back to Disneyland. It makes me just want to go even more. So you already kind of told us your least magical moment with the bag situation.
It was just silly. You know, I never get like angry when I'm there, but I was like, this is ridiculous. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah, it's just one of those moments that you're like, it shouldn't be this difficult.
Yeah, it really should have been more simple, but I got my bag. I can't complain.
So what was your most magical moment?
It had to be the end of the night Guardians of the Galaxy Rider Switch situation that we did, because it was more than you know, they had to do. They could have been like, no. But they were, and it's not just that they said yes, right? Mm-hmm. It was that they said yes, but in I'm on your team for this. Like, I love this for you. Let's do it. Yeah. You know, they weren't like, I guess. It was the end of the night, right? They could have been tired or whatever. Yeah. And we weren't trying to swindle anybody. We were just like, could we do this? She's like, yep, let's do it. And they did it, and it was seamless, and I'm so grateful to them. I did how do you do it? Like a cast member
compliment
call? Yes, we did it for both of the cast members that helped us. So
that's awesome.
You guys rock. Amazing, amazing cast members.
Yes, cast members can make moments magical for sure.
Yeah, and I've had a few of them that really stand out. That was one of them.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, it was great.
So do you have anything else you want to say about your trip?
What do I want to say? No, I think that kind of encompassed the entire trip.
Yeah, it sounded so much fun. Like such a fun girls trip. I loved it.
I wish we could have had 2 more days, honestly.
Yeah.
Or, that I could get them out of bed at, 5 a.m. to go do road drop, but they were not having it. They're like, nope. So okay, I'll do that on my own then.
Yeah, not everyone is cut out for rope drop. That's what I've come to find out.
Do you remember that they had, I don't know if you ever went to them, but they used to have the 24-hour Disney park thing? Did you ever do that? They stayed open for 24 hours.
Oh my gosh, that would be so
You could go to the
fun.
park from 7 a.m. one day to 7 a.m. then, literally 24 hours.
That is crazy. I would love that.
I know. I never got to go either, but they did them a few times. I'm like, why didn't I know about this?
Mm-hmm.
Because no one would probably go with me. That's why. Actually, my sister would go with me. But, can you imagine? You'd probably go in your pajamas and kind of just hang out. Like, 4 in the morning? Sure, why not? Go on the ride.
Oh, it'd
imagine
be
the
so
cast
fun.
members, too.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if they would like that.
Those poor angels. But, yeah. It was just a crazy time. But.
That's so cool. I totally want to do that. Maybe they'll bring it back sometime.
Bring it back.
We'll start a petition.
I know. I'd love to. At least try. See how long I could last.
Yes, it's like a mission.
It is.
Yeah. Well, Tammy, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I absolutely love chatting with you about your girls' trip, and it was fun.
Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed talking about it.
Thanks for listening today. I hope you enjoyed Tammy's travel tale. Make sure to check out our Instagram page at Disney Travel Tales to see pictures from Tammy's trip. As always, this show is sponsored by me, a travel agent with my favorite earmarked agency, Trolley Lane Travel. If traveling to Disney is something you want to get on your 2023 calendar, then let's do this. All of my services are complimentary to my clients, and there is nothing I love more than helping families make their Disney travel dreams come true. We will work together to make sure your trip fits all your wants and needs. I hope everyone is enjoying their holiday season and it's filled with love. Come back next week for a new episode. So until then, this is Jenny, and may all your Disney travel dreams become a reality.